Yo, it's me, Doncho. Welcome back to the hideout. It might not seem like it, but yeah, that's where we're at. I have a little bit of a different scenery with me today. I just want to give a different change of pace for today's chapter, and yeah, it's a great chapter. An absolutely amazing chapter from Akutami. I am absolutely floored. I'm excited. I'm like, there's so much I'm ready to talk about with chapter 117 of Jujutsu Kaisen. But as you know, as we do it, intro. So here we are. We're back at it. We are right into the midst of what's going on with Shibuya. And we're incident 38, 35, I believe. You guys know which one we're at. I'm sorry. I'm just running off of the excitement and the high of this chapter being just so. All right, so I just want to really start at the beginning, and we have to start at just seeing what's going on with Megumi and Hup before, the end of chapter 116, where we see Megumi floored out into the wall and Hup yelling with some shadow, right? And then so we get Megumi here, and he is walking away from Hup, and Hup is talking about, oh, we get this quick Nabara highlight of Hup saying, oh yeah, that girl was strong too when you guys are young, you know what I'm saying? So it seems like Hup has some respect for Nabara. I know a lot of people talking about how Nabara, didn't do well, is that and the third, but even Hup looks at Nabara like, oh, maybe as a formidable foe. Maybe Hup ran into Nabara a little bit beforehand. I doubt that, but just some type of reach, things of that nature. But then we have Hup, I'm sorry, not Hup, Megumi, going into this description, talking about his ability, going into describe of how when the Tenshigami, they start with the dogs and they summon more of these Shikigami, and then when they summon them, they have to exercise them so they can really control them. So that automatically takes us back to when Megumi was fighting Noritoshi Kamo, and he says that I recently made this one submit. So we know in his recent training, he had made Max Elephant submit in that time, meaning he had summoned Max Elephant, he had fought Max Elephant off, defeated Max Elephant, and now he controls it. Okay, cool. So before, when we were speculating, trying to figure out what exactly did Megumi mean when he was saying, oh, I made this submit, now we actually know our theories were correct. He had to summon this Shikigami and then fight the Shikigami to be able to control it. So then we get the dialogue of him saying things like, it costs no mana for you to summon that Shikigami, but then when you defeat it and you become the controller, then now it takes up mana cost for you to summon it, because now it's your when I say man, I mean Juryoku, I apologize. It is your cursed energy that is allowing you to be able to use the Shikigami and be able to use them in attack and things like that nature, and then now be able to use them on your side and maybe combine them with other Shikigami and things like that. So now it makes me wonder, when he summons and controls these new Shikigami, does his Chimera Garden change in any way? Is his understanding of Chimera Garden because he understands the frogs and the rabbits and other things better, so he can't summon other things? So when he fully gets understanding of his domain, does that mean Megumi will be able to use things such as, like, maybe summon more Nues, maybe summon more dogs than we've seen, things like that. It just takes my mind in a whirlwind, just wanting to figure out what he necessarily could do now with this information that we have learned, right? So then he continues and also says the Hup that if he is to initiate a exorcism, and this is not verbatim, I apologize, but if he is to initiate a exorcism of someone else around, the two of them can help defeat it, but he will not have control of it with the two of them helping, right? Now that just, that leads into a lot of questions and wondering what's going to happen toward the end of this chapter, but we're going to talk about that later. So then we have Megumi talking about him going to use it. I'm sorry, before we even get that, we have Megumi having this flashback of Gojo. And Gojo's talking to Megumi, and he's telling him about this, why the Zenin clan and the Gojo clan are even at odds, why they don't like each other so much, right? And that is because of history. That is because of the past. That is because another Gojo clan member who had these six eyes and a limited list technique like Gojo, crazy, like Gojo, and another Zenin clan member fought and killed each other. And that Zenin clan member happened to be the user of Megumi's Ten Shadow techniques. And what I think is very interesting about this is that the way that Gojo says it to him is that he implies to Megumi in this way of, do you understand? Well, you get what I'm saying. And it makes me understand, think, think, does Megumi really understand what Gojo is saying? Because I think Gojo is saying, you can become a lot stronger than where you're at right now. You have a very long path ahead of you. You have a very long goal ahead of you of how strong you can become, right? And I think that Megumi is is starting to wrap his head around that, but maybe not completely, not fully. Maybe he is, but in the situation he is right now with Hup, he says to himself after having this flashback with Gojo, he says, that doesn't mean I can be stronger than you, right? And who says that, right? Who says that that doesn't mean that, right? Who says that that doesn't mean that you could become stronger than Gojo? Because Gojo seems to want to create students who are stronger than he wants to create allies stronger than him, right? So maybe Megumi isn't there yet, but he's starting to progress in that nature. He's starting to realize that his life isn't something just to fully throw away, but he's still going to at the end of the day, which is why he does what he does in this chapter, right? So then he ends up going through this process and he does it in front of Hup, and now Hup realizes, hold up, what the heck? I need to like pull up and like, stop this or whatever. But he doesn't, he can't, right? And then so Megumi does the summoning. He says, summon this treasure, you know what I'm saying? And then we get this crazy summoning with the wolves and the frogs lined up. And then this giant, grotesque Shikigami, the eight handles. The eight handles, I can't even pronounce the word, the Mahagori, I believe is what it was. And he's just like, it was said divergent morality, right? Was it right before he said his name, or right after was divergent morality? And it just lets you know that like he's not right. Like his morality is divergent. That's just already in its own a wording that just makes you go, oh my God, this is evil. This is evil coming out of this thing, right? And I'm saying God like it's a person, but it's not. This is a curse that Megumi summoned, the Shikigami that Megumi summoned. And also was stated that he says that Megumi says the Hup, no Zenin has been able to tame. All right, well now we have a feat that we need Megumi to complete, right? We need Megumi to do this. Prior to what I have already seen people, discuss talking about it, I don't think that he is going to get this at the end of this confrontation. But I'll get to that again at the end of this chapter. So then after that happens, Megumi says the Hup. He says to himself first, sorry, Itadori, like, knowing that he's going to go. Like, it's his time, he's giving up on his life. And he says to Hup, hey, like, loser or whatever, like, I'm I'm gonna go first, like, good luck. And the thing comes from behind him and boom. It just sends Megumi crashing and he's out cold. Now we have where the chapter ended last, 116. Now we have where that ended. And Help screaming, needing help. But then we get Sukuna's perspective and he looks and he notices something. I'm not entirely sure if he noticed if it was Megumi he was specifically paying attention to in Shibuya, which he could have easily been doing, or if he just noticed a very powerful presence hitting Shibuya. I'm not sure. It could be a mixture of both. And then he says to Yume, I have urgent business. Like I have something to attend to. And Yume is like, what do you basically? I mean, he's like, don't neglect your preparations. Like when I'm ready, time when I will be free is soon. Like it's just around the corner, something like that. And that's like huge pieces letting us know that Sukuna has something in plan for him to come out. He's not trying to stay within Yuji's body. The theories that we've been talking about, you guys, are true. We are on the right path. He's not trying to stay in Yuji's body. He's trying to do his own thing, trying to move forward, trying to progress, trying to take it there, And so I think that yes, Sukuna's body is going to become a crucial piece. We already are talking about his fingers. It becoming about his whole body already makes sense. It's just common knowledge. We already had Gojo bring it up in chapter 3. It was brought up early enough for us to know that okay, if Akutami was to go, body now is important. We can't act crazy because now in chapter 3 we were told that his body is preserved in his grave wax and cannot be destroyed, just like the fingers. It completely makes sense, right? So then Sukuna dips, and Yuriyume says, I understand. I'm waiting for your return. So we now know Yuriyume is someone who definitely and for sure pays attention to Sukuna. We know Yuriyume is a character that definitely for sure is someone who is dedicated, genuinely dedicated to Sukuna. But that's an entirely different type of topic for a different time, but we know that for sure. We know that Yuriyume is on it. So Sukuna dips, instantly grabs Hup right before the thing crashes and kills Hup. Pulls out and goes, oh, he instantly starts thinking to himself, if I was to let this trash die, it would have killed Megumi for Shiguro. So now he instantly looking at the situation going on, Sukuna understands what has happened, what is going on, and what this ability is and what this Shikigami is. Sukuna is different. We already knew this, but I mean, just seeing it in action is a beautiful confrontation to be able to get. You're seeing that he is here dissecting, understanding, and developing ways to be able to defeat and overcome what is in front of him just by instantly getting there. And he's there in the nick of time, faster than we've seen almost anybody else move other than Gojo himself. This is incredible. The misconceptions I think that is going on is the understanding of how powerful the Shikigami is. I don't think the Shikigami is as powerful as a Gojo. I think what we have to remember is that Gojo said that the Shikigami, I'm sorry, that the two heads, the Zenin and the Gojo heads, those two patriarchs, those two basically fought and killed each other, right? So we don't know how drawn out and prolonged this fight was. We got to remember the situation that Megumi is in here, that he's summoning it. He's summoning it at the end of his wits. He's already used his domain once, maybe twice. He used it once coming in to get inside of there and to hold it against Dagon. He was fighting against Toji using Shikigami or Shikigami. We know he's been fighting ever since he came in using the inverse dude, so he had to regulate how much Shikigami he was using to beat the inverse guy. He already had to do what he had to do to get and probably Ijuchi to Shoko. We already have all of these factors that Megumi has had to already do using his abilities, and he's coming in clutch in all of these moments, right? And now he's at the end of his wits, and he's like, oh shit, I have to get past this. So he's summoning this thing at the end of it when he knows is whatever, I have to give up and get past this, right? Let's not forget, he mentions that he can summon this thing without any Juryoku reserves because it's just the summoning to just bring them out. It's free. You don't have to use any of your curse energy. You can just bring them out, and that way you can tame them. But then after you tame them, then it's your power that it uses to bring them out. So let's go to the situation between those two heads, or those two figures. They're fighting, they're clashing. We don't know for how long they possibly could be clashing. I'm not saying it was drawn out for days. We know these fights, they're usually quick, composed, going right in. So this probably was going for a bit of time. They probably had no advantage over each other. Probably was both doing mad damage to each other. And then, boom, he summons it toward the end wits before that Gojo dude can get out of there to do that way he's not caught inside the exorcism. He's caught inside of it. He's already weakened. He can't overcome it. The Zenin gets killed, and then eventually the Gojo dude gets killed. Or maybe the Gojo dude gets killed, and then the Zenin dude eventually gets killed right after. I mean, either we don't know these situations. We don't know the actual, scenario in which that those two is fighting. So to instantly say this thing is as strong as Gojo, it's like, what? You know what I'm saying? For us to instantly go, this thing could be, a little bit stronger than Gojo and be as strong as the last Gojo person, you're like, I'm like, I don't really know about that. I think we're putting too much emphasis on that because we don't know the scenario in which this dude summoned it against him. Them two could have been clashing in any other type of way. Then he got the Gojo dude weakened. Gojo dude got the upper hand just though a little bit. Then he summons it. Then it's like, okay, I'm already weakened. There's not much I can do. He gets taken down. We don't know. Then we also can't compare because we probably can assume that the Gojo that we know is a little bit stronger than that past one because we know that text and stuff was passed around. And he himself said that purple was a move that only certain Gojo members within the Gojo people knew about. So we can't say that the one before doesn't know it, but we can kind of maybe assume maybe he doesn't. It's kind of this weird thing where it's too many assumptions being made going on. That's why I personally believe that Gojo is making Megumi go, was trying to make Megumi go on the route of thinking, do you get what I'm saying? Like, you can become much more powerful. There was a you in the past, one with your ability in the past, and someone with my ability in the past, and the two of us clashed. You know what I'm saying? Two of our abilities clashed, and they were able to actually have an interaction, actually be, challenge each other's wits. You get what I'm saying? I don't think this was a Gojo dude took him out. He summoned this last resort, and this thing is now just exactly as powerful as him. He could just. It's like, why wouldn't the Zenins go their entire lives training each other up to control just this thing then if this thing is that powerful? Why wouldn't they purposefully build up each one of their new members who gets this family ability to be able to tame this thing, gain as much knowledge of this thing as they can over time and try to kill it? I understand people say stuff like, oh, you summon then you'll die. Well, they know about it. Well, then how about somebody, trying to figure out a way around it? If you know that if you summon another Zen, another exorcist with you and you exercise it, you won't control it. How about you summon it with some other Zenin around? That way you can get a practice in, try to figure what's going on. I think kind of like they would have tried to control this type of thing, figure out a process of controlling this type of thing, the same way they would have to figure out a process of controlling the others. That's my mindset. So personally, I'm not thinking this thing is as strong as a Gojo or as strong as the Six Eyes of Limits technique. I think it is something that is extremely, extremely powerful. That is probably close to that pivotal power to where if you was to tame that thing and then to get like nicer in your abilities, you'd be well above that. I think that's what I'm starting to think. I think that this thing is, especially because we can't think that Sukuna's going to have an issue with it because we know Sukuna pulls up and then he says, "Oh, he's gonna." He says to Megumi, "You can't die. There's something I need you to do." He's in a state of suspended death. He can't let Hup die. So someone outside the exorcism has to kills it. It'll be null and void. It'll be even more null and void. You know what I'm saying? It'll cancel everything out. So it makes you the people trying to speculate if he comes in and he kills it. Does that mean Megumi could possibly still claim it because he's something outside of it? Maybe, we don't know. We'll see what happens. If he does kill it and Megumi does gain it, I would love to see how Sukuna goes, okay, I helped you get this, or I helped you da-da-da-da. I want to give you some tips on how to get stronger, this, that, and the third. That Gojo dude, he might not be helping you expand your mind well enough. And then what if Sukuna gives him the pointers he needs that helps Megumi go, it connects some other dots? That'd be crazy. Or maybe not. Maybe after doing all of this, after this big fight with this thing, maybe I'll be wrong and this thing is some huge threat. And after this fight with this thing, Sukuna will be like, all right, I've used too much energy now. My temporary control is gonna run out. Yuji wakes up. Megumi comes out, he's suspended death. He's probably completely healed up because Sukuna was doing what he was doing. He could be completely healed back. Hup is sitting like, what the heck is going on? Gumi's there looking at Hup. Somebody might come around and then, we continue on what's going on in emotion. Then we have a Yuji here knocked out. He might not have control. He might still be unconscious. With Mahito, with Choso. It's a lot of stuff that's going on here with this chapter. And I don't know where we're going here. 118 is, we're on a break. So when we get 118, excuse me, that was my AirPods. When we get 118, I'm ready to see what's going on with Sukuna in this thing. I don't think this thing is going to be a major threat to Sukuna. He's smiling at this thing and is like, how about we start with a taste? Like, he's like, how about we start with a little bit of show what my power is? I think this is finally we're going to see Sukuna actually flex and show us his powers because we haven't really seen him do much against Jogo. We just seen him like dodge around, punch him, slap him, knock him to the ground, dodge around him. We ain't seen no ability for real. We seen him shoot, get the thing ready, and we ain't seen him let it off. He just kills him. So, you know, it's just a very, we are getting there, you guys. It's looking like when we get Shibuya animated, it will be its own season, probably, more than likely. Shibuya probably will be its own season. So it'll be exciting to see how the anime owners react to this and how I react to it, because I will be doing reactions on the channel. So yeah, it's very interesting. It's very fun. So I'm ready for whatever I was in the future. I'm ready for what we're going to be doing. I'm ready for everything. Shout out to Eve and the people doing the ending. I forgot their names. Their name just slipped my mind, but it's in the back of my mind. But shout out to them. I'm so excited because they're fans of Jujutsu Kaisen already, of the manga. So it's exciting that they're fans of the manga and then they're doing the openings and the endings. And so yeah, we're about to see some heat. About to see some heat, you guys. So it's exciting. I'm excited to the future. I have no predictions for what's going to happen next. We're about to just see how this rocks. My theory about Sukuna needing Megumi to be revived just look like it's coming true. So I'm ready to see more of that unfold. But other than that, we are here. But it has been me, Doncho. Thank you once again for coming to the hideout. If you like this video, please hit the like button right there at the bottom. If you did not like this video, please hit that dislike button. If you have anything you want to talk about, hit those comments. I've got to talk about it. Please hit up the YouTube, Twitter at Dan_hideout or Don_hideout, however you want to pronounce it. DAN_HIDEOUT. There you can hit me about anything. Please follow there. Anything like that. I will be getting a new Discord set up, for the hideout that people can come chill, catch me on there personally, chill, because that's where I want to really be at now. I like Discord. It's where all my friends talk, mutuals online are at now. So I talk to all of them there. So please follow me there, follow us there. So hit that subscribe button at the bottom if you like this, and tell your friends, hit that bell icon. And once again, it is me, Doncho. Thanks for checking in.